Hello everyone, hope all you are doing good and staying safe in your home. Previously we have discussed about Fraunhofer diffraction for single slit only. All the rigorous calculations are done. So now we are going to discuss about the expression of intensity and then condition of minima and maxima for only double slit and multiple slit. From that we will discuss qualitatively the diffraction grating and the resolution formula also. From that we will discuss the problems also. So follow and let's start. So students, we are going to start Fraunhofer diffraction and double slit. So as before we have already seen that we need path difference to get the intensity pattern or the expression of the intensity, and then we will get the condition of minima and maximum. Basically this is the important part, and the expression is only needed. For intensity only expression is needed. For double slit only the expression is included in your syllabus, basically for BTech first year in engineering physics. So only from the expression of intensity we will proceed towards the conditions of minima and maxima. Before that, first we need to discuss about the setup. Basically without discussing setup, without learning the setup, how it is causing the diffraction, we cannot get the pattern. Actually we cannot understand the expression of intensity. So this is it. See, there are two slits, the upper one and the lower one, and slit width are same. Basically this is A and the opaque space between them is B. Okay. Now there is a point at the middle of the slit A and the middle of the slit this is B. Okay. So parallel rays are coming. So many parallel rays are there, but we are taking only two rays at the center because this will be more simplified for this case. So now from this point the ray will get diffracted, and the diffracted rays will go at the converging lens. And the converging, what actually the converging lens does, basically it will converge the rays into a point. Okay, principal maxima or whatever that we will now we will show that what is actually it happens, diffraction and interference, what actually it is showing. Okay, so first what we need to do, we need to draw the normal on the second ray to get the path difference, because I already told you that after getting the normal, the raised portion of the parallel rays, which are actually from the diffracted rays, the same path traversed by the rays actually. So basically this is, suppose this is M, so basically BM is the path difference. Okay, so exactly as same we have done, this is theta. Already we have discussed in the previous video why this is theta. So whenever it is theta and this is the 90 degree, so now ABM is the right angle triangle. So for right angle triangle, what is actually sine theta is? Sine theta is exactly perpendicular divided by hypotenuse. Okay, so now what is the perpendicular over there? Basically perpendicular is the BM here from this triangle, because opposite side of the acute angle is always the perpendicular, and this is the hypotenuse. So of BM by AB it will be. Now what is the measurement of AB actually? See, AB is equals to A plus B. Why so? See, the opaque space is B, and this is at the middle point of the slit width, and B is also at the middle point of the slit width. So now this is actually A by 2, because the total slit width is A. So half of the slit width will be A by 2, and for the slit width this is also same. So this is also A by 2. So A by 2, basically A by 2 plus A by 2 and plus B, the opaque space between the slits. B is the opaque space between the slits. So AB is exactly equal to A by 2 plus A by 2. It is A, and after that it is B. So A plus B is the distance between the two parallel rays or two rays. Okay, so BM by AB. So now path difference, BM equals to AB sine theta. Okay, what is exactly AB? A plus B into sine theta. Okay, this is path difference. After path difference, what we exactly do for the diffraction pattern, we need to get the phase difference. Okay, so phase difference is exactly equal to the 2 pi by lambda into path difference. What is the path difference? A plus B into sine theta. Okay, the phase difference formula is this one. So now there is a rigorous calculation that is not included in your syllabus. So after that, I have discussed for single slit, we need to get the resultant amplitude, and from the resultant amplitude we can get the intensity. Basically the expression of intensity we actually need to proceed for condition of maxima and minima. Okay, so I am going actually directly to the intensity expression. So intensity expression is here 4I0 and then sine square alpha divided by alpha square into cos square beta. This is the final intensity expression for Fraunhofer diffraction at double slit. Now what is alpha, what is beta, and what is I0, that we will discuss. Basically I0 is the CA whole square. What is A? The amplitude of the diffraction pattern. And what is small a? The slit width. And the square part of this term is exactly the intensity amplitude, that is I0. Now what is alpha? Alpha is exactly equal to pi a sine theta divided by lambda. Now what is A? Slit width. Theta is the angle at which ray diffracts, and lambda is the wavelength of the incident ray. Okay. Now what is beta? Beta is similar as it is, but in the place of A it will be A plus B sine theta by lambda. Okay. Now coming to the point, actually what exactly the terms represents. Okay. Now name the equation number 1. From that we can say that I0 sine square alpha by alpha square, what exactly it gives us. Okay, so we can write down point I0 sine square alpha by alpha square gives the diffraction pattern of a single slit. Remember? Can you remember the expression of intensity for the single slit? Yes, it includes exactly the same formula. That was exactly like this. I equals to, it was I0 sine square alpha divided by alpha square, it was actually for single slit. So this term actually gives us the pattern of diffraction only. Now what actually does mean the cos square beta? The second term, basically cos square beta, gives the interference pattern of the diffracted light beam. Diffracted light beam. Okay. Now, so basically what is the significance of those two terms we have already discussed. Now coming to the point, condition of minima. Okay. So the heading will be condition for minima. It is exactly the same as we have done for single slit. Same process and same mathematics. Okay. So there are two terms, but here we will discuss for the two terms only. So the relation actually would be minimum. Which relation? The intensity relation will be minimum for which value of alpha, for which value of this fraction? 0, because minimum value of for any of quantity can be 0 only. Okay. So the factor sine square alpha divided by alpha square equals to 0 we can take for minima only. Okay. When sine square alpha by alpha square equals to 0, we cannot take alpha equals to 0, because for alpha equals to 0 it will give us the value infinite. It will be undefined. So alpha should not be equal to 0. Okay. To get the value sine square alpha by alpha square equals to 0. So what can be the value of alpha? So sines alpha equals to 0 whenever alpha equals to m pi we can write. Okay. Because for sine alpha equals to 0, alpha should have the value n pi that we know for any value of m, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But we will not take 0 because for the value of the m, for the 0 value of m, we will get alpha equals to 0. That will not be taken. So that's why alpha can run from 1, plus minus 1, plus minus 2 or plus minus 3, dot 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 dot. Okay. So now what is exactly alpha stands for? Alpha exactly stands for this expression pi a sine theta by lambda. So we will write down that only, pi a sine theta divided by lambda equals to which one? M pi. Okay, so pi done. So a sine theta equals to lambda. This is basically the condition for minima we can doubt. So if the question comes like that, first write down the expression of intensity for the Fraunhofer diffraction at double slit. First we need to write down the expression of the intensity. Then we have to write down what exactly the term stands for. Okay. And after that we will proceed to the condition for minima. There are another condition for minima because the another term is there only. Okay, so we can write it, this minima is known as diffraction minima. After that, there is another term which is cos square beta, for which value of cos square beta we can get the minimum value. For which value of theta, cos theta will be minimum. But that means for which value of theta, cos theta will be minimum, that means 0. So for getting the value of cos theta 0, we need to take the theta as pi by 2 integer of pi by 2. Okay, so beta will be cos square beta can be 0 for the value of beta equals to plus minus 2 into n plus 1, you can say s plus 1 also because n we will need later, 2s plus 1, any constant you can take, 2s plus 1 into pi by 2. Why 2s plus 1? Because we need odd integer of pi by 2, because whenever we will take the even integer of pi by 2, then it will come like pi, 2 pi, 4 pi, 3 pi. That actually doesn't mean that cos square beta will gives us 0. So we need to take only odd integral of pi by 2 so that we can get the value of cos square beta equals to 0 or cos beta equals to 0 also. Okay. So what is beta exactly stands for? Beta is exactly equals to pi into a plus b sine theta by lambda. So we will equal this term with the condition only. Okay. So beta is equals to pi into a plus b sine theta divided by lambda equals to 2s plus minus 2s plus 1 into pi by 2. Okay. So now a plus b sine theta equals to pi will be got it down. So equals to how much? 2s plus 1 into lambda by 2 plus minus obviously. So this is the another condition of diffraction minima, not diffraction minima, because I already told you that cos square beta gives us the interference pattern. So this is basically the condition for interference minima. Okay, got? Now coming to the point which is condition for maximum. We will proceed to the condition for maxima. So the heading will be condition for maxima. Okay. So there are again two terms, sine square alpha divided by alpha square. Okay, each should have the maximum value. Okay, for which value of alpha we can get the maximum value of this factor. Whenever first we need to take the maximum value of any object, any quantity, any variable. What can be the maximum value of any ratio or any object, any variable? That is infinite. Infinite is the maximum value of anything. So to get the maximum value of this factor, we need to first take, for maximum value of this factor, we need to take alpha equals to 0. Okay, alpha can be 0 for this. If alpha equals to 0, then we will get the infinite value of this one. Okay, now another value will be like that, alpha equals to plus minus 3 pi by 2 plus minus 5 pi by 2, basically the odd integer of pi by 2 except 1 or except 2. Okay, the even integers will be excluded, and the 0 and 1 integer also will be excluded. So plus minus 3 pi by 2 plus minus 5 pi by 2 will be considered only for the maximum value. And after that, another condition is there for cos square beta. The position of maxima due to the factor cos square beta are given by like that. Cos square beta will be maximum for beta equals to like any constant p pi. Okay, how? See, the maximum value of cos square beta or cos beta can be plus minus 1 plus 1. Okay, so p pi means, suppose p equals to 0, then cos square 0 will be 1. Suppose p equals to 1, that means cos pi it is, that means it should be minus 1. So for p equals to minus 1, cos beta equals to minus 1. Why? Cos beta equals to minus pi. Minus pi means that will be included, sorry, pi. Suppose p equals to 1, for p equals to 1, cos beta will be cos pi, and that is exactly minus 1. So for cos square beta, the value will be plus 1 only. Okay, so for 1, 2, 3, any other integers of p and any other integers of pi can be taken for the value of beta to get the maximum for cos square beta. Okay, you can calculate also easily. So for beta equals to p pi, and where you have to write down p equals to 0 plus minus 1 plus minus 2 plus minus 3, because for the minus value, for minus theta of minus value, cos square cannot give the minus value, because cos is always positive for any minus value of theta. So now beta equals to p pi, that means pi into a plus b sine theta divided by lambda will be equals to p pi. Pi will be done, and then a plus b sine theta equals to p lambda. That is exactly the another interference pattern of maxima. Okay, interference pattern maxima, and that is the condition for diffraction pattern maxima. Pattern maxima. Okay, done. So this is how we have completed the total part of Fraunhofer diffraction of double slits, and the conditions are there. Condition of maxima and minima for the two terms which are included into the expression of intensity. Basically, we all need the intensity only. From the intensity, we can get easily the maximum and minima. So this is it. In the next video, we will discuss the diffraction grating, and from that we will get the resolution formula and we will discuss the problems rigorously. Till then, thank you. Bye.